Yes, friends, what's happening, and welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. As always, mate, I really do hope you're doing well, really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, daily videos here on the channel where I reflect on what's been said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it, more importantly, as always, asking for yours. Lots of talk about centre-backs. Tosin, could he go to, Tosin being linked to Brighton, which is a really interesting one that we need to get into. That's coming from the Mail. But Ben Jacobs talking about Disasi to Juventus. A little bit more on Trevo being recalled. A Chelsea winger going to Bournemouth. What else we got? A bit more on Guehi. And yes, lots and lots of stuff to get into today, guys. As always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your support. I see it. I feel it in my bones. So thanks for liking and subscribing. This video is brought to you by my partner, Stocks FC. Stocks FC is it's a stock market for footballers. It's kind of a little bit like FPL in terms of you utilizing your football knowledge. It's not gambling. It is 18 plus though. You put your money in, and this is my portfolio. As you can see, I'm up on the majority of my signings, well, purchases. Reece James is up by over 31%. I got him just when I knew he was coming back from fitness. Fernandes as well, I got him at the right time. Rodgers, Haaland, Eze and Johan Visser. It's really great, guys. You basically buy low, sell high. You check out the market, buy players, and it's just a little bit of fun. Adult FPL, I like to call it. You also can get some free loan shares at the moment when you sign up. Click the link in the top of the description or scan this QR code. Go check out Stocks FC now. Alright, so let's start a little bit with a kind of bit of an update from what's going on with the centre back. Matt Law's updated his article. He spoke a little bit more about Trevo Chalobah being recalled. Apparently, it was not Iqbali that called him. It was the sporting directors. There's been a lot of briefing coming out since about the Trevo story. Like, yeah, Chelsea don't feel like they made a mistake. Yeah, they thought it was a good loan. And, you know, the way things have worked out, this is all fine. I think, look, they've done a lot right. They've done a lot wrong. Kind of what you'd expect with new owners, I guess. But look, the Trevo Chalobah scenario, like, I've been on record saying, like, you know, I love him, but I don't necessarily like cry for him as like a starting centre back at Chelsea. Of course, since I've said that, we've had poor defensive performances. We've turned into an 18-year-old to help us, so maybe the scenario's changed a little bit. And of course, the biggest issue is Wesley Fofana and sort of semi-resurgent Benoit Badiashile are out, and Wesley for basically the season. So let's read a little bit from this article here. Chelsea are planning a summer swoop for a new defender. Chelsea hope the return of Chalobah can see them through until the end of the season, when the club are confident of signing at least one new defender, so far unnamed defender permanently. That reduces the need for Chelsea to negotiate with Palace over Guehi this month, although Disasi is expected to leave Stamford Bridge, and it remains to be seen whether the club are forced to look in again at their centre-back situation this month. Could happen. Fofana is not expected to return till March or April. Oh, my cat is knocking at the door. Hold on. I thought it was Mia. She's been knocking at the cat flap sometimes to get in because I don't know why she stopped using it. But no, it was actually a delivery, and I was going, what? And I was like, oh, hello, mate. What a knobber. Anyway, Wesley Fofana is out for a long time. There's recognition in the club that Chelsea will face some criticism for recalling Chalobah after letting him leave on loan, but it was decided to be the best and most sensible course of action. There's a lot of briefing trying to make them not look like knobheads, basically. Chalobah should not need any time to acclimatise, of course, to his surroundings and teammates, and is understood to be given the green light for his return. The expectation on both sides remains that Chalobah will leave Chelsea permanently at the end of the season, but he and the club realise they can help each other in the meantime. Hopefully some high-profile games and performances. And Matt Law goes on to say Tuchel is monitoring Chalobah progress. Of course, Tuchel likes Trevo Chalobah, and he's England manager, and Chalobah's English. That would be a lovely story, I think. And, you know, bring it on. You know, I'd love to see Tuchel bring in the Chelsea boys. I mean, I'm an England fan. I know I'm demi-français, but I am a out-and-out England fan. I'd love Cole Palmer, Reece James, Levi Colwill, Trevoh Chalobah, Noni Madueke, Jadon Sancho to get back in, you know? Heck, Ben Chilwell, go play some football. Get in left wing back for England. Why the ruddy heck not? The good times are coming. Almost certainly not. Anyway, right. Ben Jacobs, reporter, broadcaster, Twitter account, says Juventus are one of the sides showing concrete interest in Axel Disasi. Yeah, I think Axel Disasi is going to go this month. I actually think he's recognised as a good defender. There'll be elements and times of moments from Disasi that you could isolate and highlight. Like, yeah, that was good defending. He's strong. He occupies the box well in these instances. He's good for a goal at set pieces, and we can't say we've been too hard. Look, I'm absolutely not making a pitch for us to keep Axel Disasi. Let me get that straight. But, you know, other teams that play football differently and are less reliant on certain passing mechanisms that perhaps he's not great in the Maresca system, they'll look at Disasi entering his prime, wearing the captain's armband for many Chelsea games this season, scoring goals on set pieces, being a big strong boy, being always available. You know, best ability is availability, etc. And yeah, you know, they'll probably feel that they can get him for reasonable value, which is probably the truth, all things considered. So yeah, man, I think Disasi, whether it's Ligue 1 or whether it's Juventus, but Juventus would be a great move for him. I know they're having a weird season when they just draw all the time, but, you know, massive club, synonymous with... It's got an allure for defenders, hasn't it? Because of the BBC, you know, both Italy and Juventus, Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini. Certainly that's what like allured the likes of De Ligt and stuff like that to go there and try that out first before buying. So yes, we'll of course keep very close tabs on Axel Disasi. Alright, Sammy Mokbel of The Mail has reported on the situation with Marc Guehi. Chelsea have made moves for him. They've contacted Palace, obviously not just about the Chalobah situation, but, you know, the potential signing of Guehi. I think Palace just know he's going, firstly. He's got 18 months left in his deal. He'll have 12 months in the summer. They will have to sell him in the summer. There's just no two ways about it. You know, so it's not like insulting to call them up now and offer them good money, but apparently Chelsea weren't happy with the fee because it was around £60 million. Now, I think last summer Newcastle bid over £60 million, if I'm correct. And it's a mid-season quote because you're like putting them in a relegation battle to take away their captain. So I get it. I'm not criticising them, but I also understand from Chelsea, 60 million quid. That really, they'll probably feel... I mean, what's Marc Guehi worth with less than a year on his contract? 30 million? You know, a player with 12 months on their deal that can negotiate a free transfer 6 months down the line. 30 million for Crystal Palace defender. That's still pretty strong. I feel like last summer that would have been doubled. So it's like halved in a year. So 60 million he could have gone for last summer. That wasn't enough for Palace. That is enough for them now, but it's too much for Chelsea. There's also talks about his wages, how to come to Chelsea he'd be on 170k a week, which Chelsea do pay players 170k a week, but it's like your Moises, Caicedo, you know, and Nkunku's on like 190. You know, Palmer's pay rise. Palmer, like England's form player, Cole Palmer. He's on 120k a week after his pay rise. So he'd be immediately coming in for an extra 50k a week over Palmer. Now look, historically for Chelsea, that would be fine. Chelsea would be like, okay, a captain of Palace, a defender we really want now we're going to start all the time. Yes, we'll give you 170k a week. That would have been like, ain't no thing. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea would have just done that. But we are in different times now, people. My personal opinion, I'd like him. If we're going to lose... Disasi of Chalobah's definitely going to go in the summer, and everyone agrees, himself and the club and whatever, everyone's aligned on that. Then yeah, we need to sign a centre back, and I'd love it to be Marc Guehi, even though I love Wes Fofana, a fit Wes Fofana, which is rare, and I'm willing to give Badiashile a chance to be a rotational player. Yeah, we'll speak about Tosin in just a moment. Fabrizio Romano confirms as an exclusive Bournemouth have agreed terms with Chelsea for 19-year-old winger Zayn Silkot Duberry. or Dewberry. Deal includes a sell-on clause for Chelsea and future incentives in terms of first-team appearances. Contract until 2028, which isn't the longest, is it? 3-year deal. 19-year-old winger. I must admit, I don't watch much Chelsea Academy football. I know about the good players from people I know that know a lot about Academy football. And then, Raksaki and Achiampong and then George, people that come into the first team. Samuel Smith as well was meant to be good, but I must admit, Zayn I don't know much about, so forgive me. But yes, Chelsea doing business with Brighton, worth mentioning. Yeah, after that frustrating game against them, I'd be doing no business with them. Give us 3 points and you can do business with us, mate. Now, Tosin Adarabioyo, and that is how you say it, it's Adarabioyo. Just learned his name as he's leaving Chelsea, apparently. He's not leaving necessarily, but an exclusive from, Keehan on the Mail is saying that Brighton are expressing an interest to sign him just 7 months after the Blues picked him up in a free transfer, of course. Brighton have expressed an interest in signing Tosin. Again, just after 7 months after signing him. We got him on a free, by the way. It was a great signing. Even if he's not a starter. To get a rotational senior player like that, but in their prime. We don't need to speak about why Tosin's a good signing. He is. The highly rated former Man City product has made 17 appearances and started 5 of the last Premier League matches at Stamford Bridge. Started 5 of the past. Well, he didn't start the last one because it's been a Champong and Levi. Anyway, he's been playing. The Mail Sport understand that the Seagulls, muggy little Seagulls, are keen to try and tempt the 27-year-old to the south coast on a permanent deal that could provide Chelsea with an almost immediate return on a relatively small investment. I guess the small investment is his wages, I don't know. It remains to be seen whether Chelsea officials will sanction a move after contact was made. Scored twice in the FA Cup, of course, Morecambe, that brace. The second goal was naughty. Brighton are interested. Yes, whatever. Okay, let's talk about it. It would be weird for us to sell both him and Disasi in this window after Badia Shield and Fofana injured. I mean, I'd say it's mental. If we did that, then we would have to sign Marc Guehi and be like, all right, what would the extra money be? 15 million. We weren't prepared to 15 or 17 million we weren't prepared to pay Palace for, and our Guehi valuation, we just used the profit from Tosin and be like, we signed this guy for free, cash money, it's free. He goes to Brighton, and then, you're bringing in all the Palace defenders. They would be royally screwed, by the way. And then this is all theoretically, Chalobah and Guehi in, Disasi and Tosin out. Now, the briefing, or certainly the news going around, Matt Law's echoed this in a couple of articles, that both of them aren't fancied by Maresca. Not just Matt Law, actually, other journalists as well in publications are saying like he's not been impressed with sort of both of them for different reasons. Chelsea fans kind of like Tosin, I think. But yeah, I think after an evaluated amount of time, I don't think Tosin's a problem because he was free and you can use him in a rotational capacity, and I think that's kind of fine. And I like how he's really tall. It's just nice to have big players, especially when we were a tiny team for a while. So I'm not by any means trying to get rid of him. I think he's good. But maybe Maresca's like, right, let's just get centre-backs that can definitely do what I want. And who's that? Well, he thinks Levi definitely can. He loves him. We know he's in love with Fofana, but he's never available. But these are players that can play, and there is like first choice when fit. He likes Badia Shield. Badia Shield is good at passing. Okay, so that's another one. And he likes Joshua Chiampong. So they have 4 centre-backs that he likes and will keep, right? And then you've got Marc Guehi as maybe a starter if he comes, and then you've got Chalobah who's filling in until the end of the season. So maybe it could work. Why would Tosin want to go to Brighton? We need to consider that. He came from Fulham, right? And Fulham are like, they're good under Marco Silva, right? Let's look at the table, Premier League table. I know Brighton are like fashionable, and they were sort of doing well, and getting into... Yeah, Brighton are 2 places below Fulham. Brighton are in the bottom half of the table. Fulham are in the top half of the table. And I think Fulham surely pay higher wages than Brighton. So why would he like leave Fulham, have a bunch of suitors, including Chelsea, just to leave to, you know, sorry Seagulls, but a slight backwards move at the moment, all things considered, considering how good Fulham are and how, you know, Brighton are a sort of selling club. Fulham aren't a selling club. Fulham buy people's like, you know, players they don't want to use anymore and do it themselves. They don't develop young players and sell it for profit. That's very Brighton-y. And, you know, why would a 27-year-old Tosin, and unless, like, he just gets sold the project and he thinks, yeah, this is really good. They've had 5 draws in a row, Brighton. Or is it? I don't know which way they're on the form table is. Anyway, point being, I don't see him wanting to go unless they offer him a load of wages and they have money. I mean, Brighton should have friggin' money from fleecing everyone for the last few years. But, I don't know. If they can tempt him, then maybe they can tempt Chelsea. We'll see what happens. There's going to be a lot of stories popping off in the second half of this transfer window, so keep it locked here to Football Therapy. Turn the bell on when you subscribe. Do check out Stocks FC by clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code, and I'll see you back here very soon. Peace.